before Scarce City, I have a whole history of like failed startups, and one of the challenges from like creating something from scratch is getting people to support you from the beginning when you have zero credibility. And when you're building on Bitcoin and you're building for the Bitcoin community, you already have that community. Like everybody wants you to win. And that is such a huge tailwind that I just can't overemphasize. Like that's the only way we were able to get past our, start from scratch moment is the Bitcoin artist creator. Like they wanted us to create something special. So they got behind us when we were nobody. The Lightning community, like Elizabeth Stark, like met me for coffee when like I was literally nobody. And you just won't find that anywhere else. Like this is a real, gosh, I can't think of the right words, but it's like a real, like a community where everybody is just, like wants everybody else in the community to win. It's a real kind of sum of the parts movement. So as a creator, like you can't find that kind of benefit, like of creating something new. It's so hard to create something that hasn't been done before. And if you're doing it on Bitcoin, you have a huge advantage from the start.
100% agree. And I think even more so than just on Bitcoin, I agree. Like Bitcoin obviously has the largest base of users, of holders, of people engaged in this community. But then specifically on Lightning, one thing that I find interesting is that Lightning is a network of people. It matters how many people are in the community, right? Because if you're making payments, if you're putting up collateral, if you're doing all these things, making a micropayment, supporting a podcast, whatever it is, it depends on people. It's not like some of the DeFi projects that kind of spin up and are live in a week, and some whale deposits $100 million into, and it's like, oh look, we got $100 million. You got one person, or you got a few. Like it's not a network of people,
right?
So I think that ties in perfectly with your point of like you have this base of actual supporters, and the people are there to support all the projects.
And it's it's a user base that's ready for you too. Like anybody who's already using Lightning, if you're creating a Lightning app, like they're ready to use your product. I mean, people are looking for ways to use Lightning. Like, they will seek you out if you're doing something new on Lightning.
100%. And now you got node services. You got like Umbrel's got 15,000 plus people using their operating system with nodes that are ready to plug into applications. And so now any application that comes along and says, hey, we need to grow our users, we need to get new people on board. Well, you go to someone like Umbrel, or you go to some of the other services, and all of a sudden there's like an addressable market of people already there. Like I talked with Romain Rufael at LN Markets.
Oh yeah.
Previous episode. He mentioned that when they opened on Umbrel, or when they integrated their app on Umbrel, like within that first month, they got like 2,000 plus new users. And I just see that like continuing over time, where anytime now a Lightning app is going to be integrated into one of these big services, there's a growing number of people already there, already using other apps, and it just gets better and better, right? Like the app store grows, there's more complexity, there's more interesting things to do on Lightning. They all feed off each other. People can earn, people can spend, people can, collect. It's all sorts of interesting use cases are emerging, but I think it all comes back to the people. I think you're right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the network effects. They expand in different ways, whether it's, the technology infrastructure, the installed base of users, the liquidity, the community. Like, it's just so much easier to win when you're creating for the Bitcoin community.
Yeah, and that whatever you're building is built on a solid foundation.
Exactly.
That's another important thing. It's like
that's
it's not changing. It's there.
Right.
You can always count on it.
That's the trustless nature of Bitcoin, and it's more dependable than any other network we have. So having that, like, it encourages people to devote more of their time and resources to it because they know it's going to be there for the long term.